Thank you for listening to Scandinavian Crimes Podcast. Be sure to check out the episode links and be part of our other social media platforms where you can leave a topic suggestion or even share some of your insights regarding the subject matter of the episode. We will always do our best to provide a well-researched episode, but sometimes due to limited access to information and translation issues, some information can be lost. It is therefore good to do your own research and get a deeper understanding of a case of your own interest. So with that all said, let us start today's episode.
Start the podcast, the intro, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Scandinavian Crimes. My name is Devante, and say hello to my lovely co-host, Delila.
Hi. Sorry. I sounded so
I'm
dead.
keeping all that. Yeah, go ahead. Be better.
I'm sorry. I was screaming. I'm sorry. I busted all your eardrums. Hi.
I'm so done. And on this podcast, we cover famous Scandinavian criminals who made their mark throughout Scandinavian history. So today is a very, very interesting case. One of the biggest or most extensively discussed cases in Norway, and that's the Trude Espås case. It stands out as one of Norway's most extensively discussed investigation and is an unsolved case even until today. So in total, there are over 3,000 witnesses from nearly 40 countries who were interviewed by the police, while 2,420 surveys were conducted and 1,900 tips were logged. To this day, no one has been charged for the murder, which means despite all this information, the person's still out there. Now, it's not going to be a super long story, but nonetheless interesting. So you already know the routine. You already know the vibe. You already know what to do. Come on now. Grab your tea. Grab your snacks. If you're on a train, tuck yourself into a little corner and, really lock into this story, because this is a story of the unsolved murder of the Trude Espås case. Geiranger, situated at the head of Geirangerfjorden, nestled in the western part of Norway, captivates visitors with its stunning landscape and breathtaking scenery. However, Geiranger faces constant danger from landslides with potential for catastrophic natural disasters. Despite these risks, Geiranger remains a popular destination, particularly during tourist season from May to September. With its status as Norway's third largest cruise ship port, it welcomes hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. Tourism fuels the local economy, supporting hotels, campsites, and even guided tours to historic farms. Trude Espås arrived in Geiranger on July 31st, 1996, securing a job as a maid at the Hotel Union after studying language in Alta. Barely a week into her stay, on August 8th, she was seen strolling towards the town center during her day off around 1500 hours. Making stops at the post office and a local grocery store, she then ventured a few hundred meters along the highway, settling at a rock to read a book. Multiple witnesses independently confirmed seeing a woman resembling Trude in that location. Trude failed to report for work the following morning, prompting hotel staff to search for her. However, there was no trace of her whereabouts, and so on the same day, August 9th, Trude was reported missing by the staff manager at Hotel Union. Geiranger, nestled in fjord and surrounded by mountains, raised concerns to the staff that she might be lost or injured. A significant search and rescue operation commenced involving helicopters, police dogs, and a large crew. The following day, a man entered the sheriff's office carrying a handbag and a book he found on a large rock by the highway just outside of Geiranger Center. Despite narrowing the search to the area around the rock, no breakthroughs occurred. Multiple witnesses confirmed seeing Trude at that specific spot, making the rock a focal point of the investigation. On August 19th, an elderly couple out for an evening stroll along the highway detected a strong, unpleasant odor near the rock. Following the scent, they discovered a pair of white shoes wedged in between rocks about 100 meters away. The couple promptly alerted the police, who cornered off the area. The police surmised that Trude likely left the rock voluntarily, as her book and handbag remained there. It was improbable that the murder occurred on the rock itself, given its visibility from the nearby road, where traffic was brisk, with approximately 2.5 cars passing every minute. Moreover, there were people on the boats in the fjord and hikers on the nearby trails. However, a point on the path just below where Trude was discovered provided concealment, suggesting it was a probable site of her murder. At the time of Trude's disappearance, Geiranger housed nearly 5,000 people, with 98% being tourists who could freely pass through the village. The police carefully recorded every person and vehicle present in Geiranger on the day of the murder. They gathered guest lists from the hotels and campsites, as well as tracked all debit and credit card transactions. In total, a staggering of 3,062 witnesses from 37 countries were interviewed by the police. Among them were several witnesses, both pedestrian and drivers, who had spotted Trude seated on the rock reading a book. The police received a crucial report from the hotel employee. On the same afternoon as the murder, she was lounging on rocks approximately 500 meters from where Trude had been seen. During her rest, she noticed an unfamiliar man exhibiting unsettling behavior. Motionless, he stared at her for about 20 minutes before abruptly rising to ask about the time in German. After the unsettling encounter, he headed towards the rock where Trude was seated, and so he was swiftly becoming the prime suspect in the police investigation. Another set of key witnesses were Roine and Birgitta Lof, a Swedish couple from Uppsala who were regular visitors of Geiranger. The couple were camping in Geiranger at the time of Trude's disappearance, and while on a stroll, they spotted a girl seated on the rock reading. Upon their return, before 1800 hours, they noticed the girl's absence. The Swedish man briefly ventured off the road to find a spot to relieve himself when he suddenly heard a scream. Both Roine and Birgitta were alarmed by the scream, finding it somewhat sounding like a panicked child. While Birgitta hesitated to approach the source of the scream, Roine's curiosity propelled him forward. He ascended to the path alone, casting a glance towards Geiranger Center. Following the trail further, it was then he spotted what appeared to be a child nestled against a cliff, approximately 40 meters away. Towering over the child, a man abruptly stood as Roine caught sight of him, wearing a perplexed expression as if startled by Roine's presence. Roine caught sight of what he interpreted as a father and child playing. After Roine had finished attending to his needs, he noticed that the pair had vanished. He asked Birgitta if she noticed the father and child leave, to which she responded no. The location where Trude's body was eventually discovered sits just 20 meters above the site of this incident. The man in question wore a blue and white striped pick shirt. A man matching this description had previously approached the hotel employee only a few hundred meters from where Trude was last seen, speaking in German. A composite sketch was crafted based on a female employee's description of the German man. Described as a pale, clean-shaven, with a Northern European appearance, he stood approximately 1.85 meters tall, possessed a regular physique, had gray, blue eyes, and dark brown hair. His attire consisted of light shorts and a short-sleeved polo shirt adorned with horizontal blue stripes on a white background. When shown the sketch, Roine noted a vague familiarity with the face, but what struck him most were the eyes, which he described as appearing somewhat panicked. When questioned if he believed the person he saw lying on the ground was the same individual he had observed earlier on the rock, Roine admitted uncertainty. Over the years after the murder, Roine has made concerted efforts to recollect further details about the encounter. When the police combed through Trude's dormitory, they stumbled upon a note that would become one of the most significant clues in the case. Among Trude's belongings was a piece of paper bearing what appeared to be notes from her daily diary. Dated August 2nd, 1996, 4 words were scribbled. I'm gonna butcher this. Elin Butik Teisker Kreiker. Elin, an employee at the hotel, was tasked with Trude's training. Butik suggested she visit the store after work. However, the last 2 words intrigued investigators. Teisker, meaning German, and Krieger, meaning crutches, hinted at an encounter with a German-speaking person who might have a walking impairment or disability. These lingering questions troubled the police for over 2 decades until a breakthrough occurred in 2017. Following the airing of the case on a German detective show, the Norwegian detective show Unsolved Norge received an email from Norbert Bartling, a German who was a tourist in Geiranger during the time of the murder. Norbert claimed to possess 3 photos of potential significance to the case. Upon receiving and scanning the photos for improved image quality, Unsolved Norge uncovered a crucial piece of evidence: a photograph depicting a man with crutches dated August 2nd, 1996. Subsequently, Unsolved Norge journeyed to Geiranger to interview a witness, Camilla Ronneberg, who had encountered the man in the photograph. At the time, Camilla was 16 years old and worked at a kiosk when she first met the man. She recalled that he spoke in German and asked her unsettling and intrusive questions, such as her place of residence and its distance. He also was missing a leg and had crutches. After their uncomfortable interaction, Camilla did not see him again. The police had established that Trude was in the town center around 1600 hours on August 2nd, coinciding with Camilla's encounter with the German-speaking man. However, despite numerous witnesses, statements, as well as tons of new information regarding the case, the Norwegian police are still not sure who truly murdered Trude. Before we start the discussion session, I just want to say one thing. Trude.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, listen. Devante.
Trude.
Having a hard time with words. I am phonetically spelling, giving it to him. And I was like, you could just read for once, Trude. Like Trude.
Trude.
And then you do the Trude, trying to
Trude.
make this fake
Trude.
accent to make it sound more, I don't know.
I'm trying.
Maybe it could be more Norwegian. I don't know. I don't think it is, though. But who am I to speak? I'm not Norwegian. So.
Because you're being rude.
I'm trying to make it so it's not going to be the kajal moment again.
I think it means shall ok. All right.
Listen, I'm trying to phonetically spell, by the way, like other languages that I don't really speak. I speak Swedish. I know Swedish, but I do not know.
I need you to speak these languages for this
Norwegian.
podcast.
I mean, I can understand. They have a little like, you know,
Dude.
vibe to how they like. They have this little, like, it's like rhythmical, and it's nice to listen to. I do like Norwegian. I think it's cool.
They have a little bit of Trude to it.
The Finnish part, like I mean, I can imitate kind of what the rhythm is, but I don't know how to speak it at all. I have no idea. So me actually, Danish as well, like it has a little like melody and rhythmical stuff going on too, almost resembling like German in a way, but not really. So I'm actually trying to phonetically spell languages that I have no idea how they actually spell, how they talk. So, and you still want to do that? Trude. I don't even know how to do it.
Well, I'm trying. All right, I'm trying. Okay,
and I'm trying to help you.
Let's not get off too much in a tangent. You know.
Let us move on to the discussion. I am sorry, my dear people listening to this. I'm doing my best with this American right here.
I'm so done.
And okay, so when I wrote this, there was a lot of like uncertainty, and here I am talking about languages.
And then you're uncertainties.
Yeah, and like I can't find information that like truly like a lot, like everything is based on information of like not everything, but most of it is from like Reddit and like media and articles, but I think this is a like good summary of everything. But if you guys want to research more, as we always say, you can go ahead and do it. But The thing is that it's unclear to me when I was looking through things is that if she was raped or not. They did some evidence, like some articles said that she was raped and some didn't. So it wasn't really clear, and I don't have any information about the investigation or anything. So I can't really say if it happened or not, but it could be a food for thought. If she was murdered, then maybe she was raped as well. Yes.
I think too that it's hard to say in cases like this because, especially during the time frame in the area, I did do like just a 5-minute Google. The place didn't have a ton, obviously, of like a ton of cameras like it would, like, you know, nowadays.
It was
right?
all about nature and stuff.
Yeah. So a lot of this relied on eyewitness testimony, which historically, notoriously, no matter where you are in the world, is unreliable. Even if people don't mean to be, you know, unfortunately, the human memory can only recall certain details. And obviously, some people are more reliable than others, but, you know, eyewitness testimony is very unreliable.
So, you know, also for Royne as well, because, like,
yeah.
I mean, he was trying he was like, I'm trying, guys, but I wasn't thinking about it. He was just going out for a pee. Like, he wasn't thinking about it.
His first thought was like, dang, I really need the bathroom right now. And I can alter how you remember things because it wasn't your priority, you know, especially if your mind is already occupied.
And he saw like a parent and child, like who would be like, you know.
Yeah, he wasn't thinking about that at the moment. Then now he's trying to go back in his memories when in reality his perspective on the situation wasn't focused on that. So that's really hard. And this case is literally like a walking. Truthfully, I'm not saying this to be like negative.
They did a good job.
But,
like they really did a thorough job trying to find everything. And they did do a lot of, like, they got a lot. It's just not enough, you know.
Yeah, I just think because of the time and the area in which this took place, it's not very likely that they could even find someone, because it's like there's no information outside of eyewitness, no DNA, there's nothing, literally nothing really. Like, yeah, there's like a couple of photos, entries into her diaries, and then like they made the sketch, but there's nothing absolutely tying the person who's in the sketch supposedly to the actual scene. So it's like, it's almost, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's like this is a very slim chance, and I hate to say that, but there's not really anything to go on unless somebody reveals something, you know, within the next couple years, like, oh yeah, I found a photo, and then the photo is like literally of the person doing the crime or the next best thing or something like that. Then it's very unlikely this is one of those cases that might just go unsolved, and it sucks.
Like, another thing of what Royne said, he was like, "What? How did they like vanish so fast?" Because like he felt like he was like, when they were on their way back from their walk, and he was like, he just like, after he done his business, he's like, "Where are they?" And he was thinking of, like, because he remembered that he was like, "Oh, like I was expecting to see them again, and there's nowhere to be found." And he's like, where are they? Because, you know, the child was screaming, and, you know, maybe he thought something like that. I don't know if that is an extra thing that he probably added when he was interviewed, because, you know, memory, I don't think like he thought about it that deeply. But that's something that I also think you guys just should think about, because in the reports they think the German guy has some disability and crutches, but the other witnesses didn't really mention. Only one of them, the kiosk girl, I think, mentioned that he was having a hard way to walk, like he had some type of disability. But nobody else really mentioned, like, they seen the German, but they didn't really mention that. So I'm just thinking if that maybe was another German man who was not having a disability. Because if you think about it, who can, like, if can the German guy really rape and hide quickly the body under the rock so nobody could find it until days after, and then and also like he's missing one leg, so he probably had a prosthetic leg or no leg at all. I don't know. Like, how would it be possible to like do all that? It's just my question, and to do it so quickly.
Yeah, that's what makes this unreliable. Because maybe there was another German man who wasn't. Or maybe there could have just been another German man, and then unfortunately, their memory can be confusing the two. So now details are being mixed. Yeah, it's just it's hard. Yeah, I just felt like I wonder if it was another one, or maybe she was supposed to meet the German guy who had crutches because she wrote it in the diary, or maybe she was supposed to buy crutches for something else. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say, because I thought about it. I was just like, there's so many ifs and buts, and and I feel like it should have been noticeable by the people if they remembered a guy with crutches. And like, truthfully, for you guys, I wish I had more to say, but much like the police, there's not really much to talk about. We don't really know what's going on. Like, this is truly one of those situations where it's like, it's hard for even us to say like who we think it is. We have no details on a person from the drawing. I mean, this is the reason why it's testimony. Yeah. So I'm like, even the eyewitnesses it's different in some ways and consistent in others. And it's just like, there's no way for us to really, and we're not in the job of defaming anyone. So unless we think something, obviously, we don't take our personal opinion as fact, but even our opinions, we don't have an opinion about it because we don't know. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't have anything. There was a police theory, however, that was mentioning that maybe the killer used, trying to like pretend being disabled in order to like get her from the road, or like I don't know, trick her or something. Yeah. But if you don't have a leg, I don't know. It's just, yeah, even then, regardless, it still is just like, that may or may have not been the case, but we still just don't know. That's a theory, but here we are in 2024, and still it's just as much as a mystery as it was then, So, I don't know. You know what I found strange about this case as well? Like, why did it take so long for them to find her? Because, like, she wasn't really far off from the actual, like, place that they, because, like, the actual place where they were initially searching at. So like, how couldn't they find her is my question, because like, how could they, like, I don't know, I just felt it was weird that it took days until somebody smelled like something was off and then found her. 20, what was it? It wasn't really that far away, and I was like, didn't you guys look? Like, what were you doing? That's the only like downside of like, it's possible that they might have like maybe started from an area and then unfortunately branched off somewhere else, because maybe they thought like, oh, this is the most logical way that she might have went, because they were under the pretense that she went somewhere, voluntarily. So she probably was like, okay, well, she would walk this way because maybe there's a path this way. So they probably did things assuming that she herself voluntarily at least walked off somewhere, and then the person found the body, and then that's when they started to consider it was a murder, because there was like, oh, where they found it, there was a place, was it the bridge or something like that, or a little like den under. So it was like, okay, well, it was a place where they could have done it in a outside of like, the typical eyes of the people who would be passing by, and then they started to consider this is a murder. So I think they went into it thinking she was just lost, but then after they realized, okay, now this is a murder. So I think it was just the approach, not entirely their fault, because I guess they wanted to assume that she was just lost, and like I said, because of landslides and the natural geography of the area, they probably took a different route in their approach. But that can happen sometimes because of that. So they did have like somebody they thought would be
the killer. And it was a guy, or is a guy called Volker Eckert. And he's a German serial killer who have been, he has confessed to 6 murders. So 3 in Spain, 2 in France, and 1 in Germany. So he liked to travel a lot. And they were trying to investigate that maybe he was the murderer. But I don't have any more information of how, if he's disabled or not. I don't think so, but he's strongly built, which could, which
contradicts the other eyewitness testimony of him having a normal
physique. But it could
physique,
be, as I said before, it could be another German, and they kind of just mixing it up because of the witnesses, and the police just don't know what to do.
Yeah, and that's why,
because they don't have any tangible evidence,
Yeah, but I don't know. You guys, let us know what you think, because I'm not the type to talk for the sake of talking, because I don't know what it is. Neither one of us do. So how about y'all let us know what y'all think, and if you have any more information in terms of this case, feel free to discuss it with us. You already know how to reach out to us, and all that stuff, and let us know how you feel about this situation. And of course, to end the podcast on a positive note, you already know we ended with nice, delicious foods at the end. So what do you have in mind?
I just want sugar right now. I have a sugar craving. So maybe pancakes with some fruits, or maybe some matcha latte with some vanilla syrup, or some bubble tea. I know that what I said was not sugary stuff, but I don't like too sweet stuff. I just like something that is sweet, but not too sweet. What about you, Devante?
I think I can do a little... It's this little recipe that I have saved that I'll obviously make for you. It's this little potato thing that's wrapped. It has cheese in it, but you
baked potatoes,
make mashed potatoes. No. It's you make mashed potatoes, but then you put something in it with flour and make it a potato dough, and then you fry it, and then
gnocchi.
It gets a little bit of a crunch on the outside, but on the inside it's a little stretchy cheese.
Oh, you're gonna fry
I don't know what it's called.
Okay, it's French fries.
I'm gonna fry it on a pan, so it's not deep fried. I'm just gonna fry it on a pan, sear it brown on both sides, and you'll see.
Okay, I'll have to see the picture, because I was guessing 3 other things. Okay.
Yeah, I know you were. It seemed pretty good.
Okay.
But let us know what you guys think, and if you enjoy the podcast, be sure to give us a little 4 or 5-star review depending on your platform. And it wasn't a super long podcast episode, but remember, always let us know what you think, because sometimes, and this has happened before, little things or thoughts and opinions or information you may have can potentially lead to a new breakthrough in a case. So let us know, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
Bye.